My name is Audrey Baran. I am a dance artist and educator, which means I do a lot of different things and wear a lot of hats. I'm a choreographer here. I'm based in Charlotte, North Carolina, a company called Baran Dance. We're going on to our 10th year this year. And I also teach as a visiting assistant professor in dance at UNC-Charlotte in the Department of Dance.
What does that mean you do?
I guess there's two ways that you become a choreographer or begin a choreographic project. And one might be, and I do both with my company. I'll just decide that we're having a performance and for securing venues and dates and everything. But I'll just begin making work, which means just coming up with ideas about what sort of dance performance, whether it's a few minutes, whether it's an evening long piece or something in between comprised of lots of different dance pieces. And I'll usually rehearse for a project for several months at a time. I would say probably between like 3 to 6 months. And I work the same way if I am commissioned by another company or if I'm hired to reset maybe an older work for an organization. I just sort of work in the time and in the way and in the environment that I'm offered.
What exciting work do you do?
I am a selected choreographer for the Joffrey Ballet Academy's Winning Works program. So I'm one of four choreographers selected to set work on the Joffrey Studio Company and trainees, which is sort of like their second company or their highest academy level. So I just got back from a second week in Chicago setting work on that group there. I have a cast of 15, and then I'll go back for the performance and for tech and dress rehearsal in 3 weeks. And the show is March 18th through 20th in Chicago. So that's been amazing just to have the opportunity to work with dancers of just in that environment who are just so dedicated and hungry and really on a pathway to live their lives as professional dancers is really cool. Last year, I also choreographed on Charlotte Ballet, which was really amazing as part of the Innovative Works direct from the lab performance, and that was also amazing. I've worked for Charlotte Ballet for a long time as an educator in the academy program as well, but that year they opened up a call for choreography from anyone within the organization. That was amazing too. And yeah, and really, I mean, on a less like climactic note, just to like have been making work as an artist, as a dance artist for 10 or so more years in Charlotte is pretty amazing. So just the ability to continue and sustain that practice and that work is really exciting.
Where do you find inspiration for your work?
In different ways. I mean, sometimes there's a prompt or there's a project presented and I make a work about that thing, whatever it is. Sometimes it's really more up to me or up to, me and several other dance makers to create the work and the content. And sometimes it's just music, whatever kind of inspires me at the time. And there's a lot of like chicken or the egg and which comes first. And I like working in both ways, from concept or from structure first, and then they sort of meet in the middle. And sometimes things change too. I'll start making a piece and then I'm like, I don't like this music at all, or I don't like what this is about, or I think this is actually about something else. Like dance is fluid and can change all the time. It does change all the time. Sometimes we don't know it.
How is teaching related to being a choreographer?
I mean, when I teach, say, in Modern 2 or Modern 1B at UNC-Charlotte, I mean, I'm working on material that I often end up using in a choreographic process. I also choreograph for concerts there. So I love that really like marriage of education and performance. So like dancers who are in a creative process are learning about making dance, about producing dance. And I'm also learning about like my own process and how it keeps changing and shifting. I feel like I've become a better choreographer the more I teach and a better teacher the more I choreograph, because they're really hand in hand. Every time I complete a project, it makes the next one stronger.
Did you dance as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up as a competition kid, meaning I danced competitively, doing more like commercial dance styles, jazz and tap and lyrical, and really seriously. I mean, I danced for many hours for all week And so it wasn't really a question that I would go to school for dance, and my parents were super supportive of that. So that sort of shifted my experience of dance when I went to UNC-Charlotte for undergrad. So I transitioned more into modern and contemporary dance, and a little more serious about ballet. I really didn't grow up doing much ballet. And then another shift happened when I went to graduate school at Hollins University, and really opened my eyes to like the art of making dance and of the place of dance in this social political space that we live in. And it doesn't have to be external to how we live and like operate within the world. It's still like coming out and figuring out what it means to make dance and to be an artist and an educator all at the same time. And I think about those things when I'm teaching, like what do I hope these students come away with? Is it just like you made a good dance to this cool song, or which is fine, or like are you saying something? Are you trying to make a statement or a shift in a small or large scale with this dance? And again, there's no right or wrong answers to those. My dance education informs the way that I create and the way that I pass on teaching dance.
Who is Danceful?
I mean, I'm a big proponent, and I kind of touched on this, of like, dancers from many different backgrounds being engaged in dance. And that means like not just dancers who are trained in classical ballet, not just dancers who come from a certain demographic or a certain look, but really acknowledging that all dance is valid, and all dancers are important and integral to the space where they are. Of course, certain classes or choreographers focus on different things, but I think, like I said, dance is not just for a certain kind of person or made by a certain kind of person anymore. So
How did you start your dance company?
I was teaching at Open Door Studios, which is a wonderful studio and hub for dance here in Charlotte, and was putting together, I was asked to put a work at a really small festival or showcase, more so, and just asked some dancers from my classes if they wanted to perform in this thing. And then I think we like made 2 works together, and then I was like, oh, it's like we had this thing called Baran Dance, and some of my friends just made t-shirts that said Baran Dance and had them printed, and I was like, oh, well, I guess we're a company now because we can't turn back now. We have merchandise. So yeah, it kind of happened a little bit accidentally, but I think like for all the right reasons. And I mean, I have some dancers in my company who have been with me since day one, some who are brand new this season. So it's really been an amazing ride to see like the progression of dancers from, I have apprentices who are in high school. I have dancers who are in their 40s, myself included. So it's really lovely to bring these people together. And I mean, it's my company, but a lot of people make work within the company, and we do some guest artists as well. So it's nice to just like be this entity that again is just like bringing dancers together and bringing audiences to dance in some form.
Do you do other art for fun?
I would say not seriously. I do a little bit of like fiber arts, and I mean like a little bit. And I just started really in around March 2020, figuring out other creative ways to exist. And I've always liked visual art. I never pursued it seriously. My husband is a visual artist and a musician, but I mean, I love music. I love seeing live music. We have tons of friends who are in that field. So I have an appreciation certainly for all those things. And I really love collaborating with other artists who are visual artists, musical artists, spoken word artists with dance. So again, I think it just makes us stronger. Like the more we can cross pollinate each other and our audiences and our the reach that each of us has, it only makes more people aware of like, oh, I do like dance, or oh, I do like poetry, or whatever it is. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm an artist in any other way, but I certainly have an appreciation. I mean, I'm a certified yoga teacher also, and the funny thing is I'm really not teaching much yoga these days, but my practice is really consistent and daily and diligent, and that's really like probably the number one thing I do for myself, and just making time for the people and the places and spaces that are important to you has been like a really nice grounding tool for me.
Yeah. What do you think the future of dance looks like?
Yeah. I mean, I am excited about it, with a lot of reckoning that's happening. The face of dance and like the ways of dance are really, really changing. I think dance makers are clearly becoming more diverse and more representative of who dancers are. Um, and I say that like who dancers are in lots of ways. I think the way that people also absorb dance is changing, and we don't have to see it all on, giant 50 by 60 stages with, houses that seat 500 people. I love all these like site specific things that are happening. Like virtual dance is great for some cases and for some time. But yeah, I just think that there's never enough ways and forms that dance can be created and presented, and those ways are expanding. Again, sometimes because somewhat because of the pandemic, but with good outcomes, hopefully.
How do we prepare students to be successful in the arts?
Yeah. I think just being open to every opportunity. And I say every because like for young people, like really take advantage of everything that comes your way with like thorough research and, like knowing what you're getting into, is what I mean to say. I mean, I took class everywhere I could from everyone that I could. When I was at UNC-Charlotte, I went to CPCC and took class. I went to Charlotte Ballet, or NCDT as it was at the time, and just to get to know as many people in your art that you can, because they might have jobs for you, they might have connections for you, they might have, be a reference for you, and that's not selfish, is to collect a lot of people in your arts network. It's just gonna make you and them stronger, and like your city and your environment wherever you are. Yeah, I think just like keep your eyes open and take advantage of a lot of different, as many opportunities as you can. For dancers and for artists, when we go to a theater, we have to be able to talk to a lighting designer in their language. We have to be able to talk to stage managers, and it's not just like, here's my dance, make it look good, because that's not going to helpful for anyone. So I think just being able to communicate and speak the language and share your language with other people in no matter what field they're in. If you're, tangential to each other, it's only going to help both of you.